Hello everyone, welcome to episode 12 of Senior Tech. Today we are going to be covering spreadsheets. A lot of you may think, well, that's strictly for mathematical calculations and things like that, but spreadsheets can be very useful and a handy way to handle a lot of things such as contact lists, some mathematical simple calculations, and complicated ones also. I'm going to demonstrate today how to use spreadsheets inside of Google Documents, which is free. We've been showing you how to set up a Google account and how to set up Google Documents and some of the great things that Google gives you for free. The things we're going to be demonstrating today, spreadsheets are very similar from one program to another. For example, Microsoft Office, their spreadsheet program is Excel, and it's a pay program, but you'll see a lot of the similarities if you go into Excel to what we're going to show you today on Google Sheets. Also, there's some great free programs such as OpenOffice and so on, which have free spreadsheet programs for you. Okay, let's get started by going to our Google Chrome account. And again, always remember the 9 little magic buttons here. That takes you to all your different things that we've been demonstrating, such as Google Photos and things like that. But today we're going to go right into Google Drive, and that is where your free programs are from Google. And we're going to go to My Drive right here, click once on it, and here you go, Google Docs, Google Sheets, Google Slides. Google Sheets is the spreadsheet program by Google. Now, if you get an Excel document, for example, from someone and you don't happen to have Excel on your system, Google Sheets will open an Excel spreadsheet for you. So let's click once on that. And here we are. Now I'm going to go over things here one by one so it's a little easier for you to follow. If you put your mouse over these items, it'll tell you what it is. This will undo your last action. This will redo it again if you made a mistake. That's your printer button to automatically print this spreadsheet. This is a format painter, which can get a little complicated, so I'm going to stay away from that today. This is how if you want to zoom in, just click on this little arrow. You could do 100% like I'm doing now. You can make it really big. If you have trouble seeing, it's easy to work this way. Now, if I have a number here, for example, $67.80. If I hit the format as a currency, you see it inserted the dollar sign for me and so on. Formatted as a percentage, it does that. So these are quick ways to format something. Let me hit if you're in a cell and you want to delete what's in it, just click on the cell and hit your delete button on your keyboard and it goes away. This is to increase or decrease the amount of decimal points that something shows. This gives you a lot of other formats here if you want to use formatting as date and time, or currency is here again, and so on. Scientific formatting can get rather complicated. You can keep it simple, you can make it really complicated. Here you control the font. You have the choice of all your fonts there. The size of the font, very similar to a word processor. You can make it bold, you can make it italic, you can strike a line through it. You say, well, why would I want to strike a line through my text or a number? That is a handy way to mark something as being completed. For example, here, let's say I have put here get groceries, and if I did that already, I can just, let's say I'm on another page, I completed that task, I click on it, and it struck it through. So you can see where that could be handy. Okay, The next thing here is the color. You can choose the color that you want to make your numbers or your text on that particular cell. Another thing in Excel, let's say I have several things here like Mary, Joe, Charlie. If I'm in this particular cell here, if I just pick that cell and I go to this, it's going to make just that red. But let's say I want to make all of them red. I just click on one and drag down, highlight all of them, and now I can make them all whatever color I want. As you can see, you can also drag this little box around this way and duplicate everything, but that's a whole other thing there. Okay, this is the fill color. You can actually make a cell itself with a background color. So I can make this, for example, yellow to highlight it and so on. I'm going to undo that, so let's go to the undo button here. It's going to undo my last action. Again, if I press redo, puts it back in. These are borders. The importance of borders is to put these lines which show up here normally would not show up if you're printing this. And it can get confusing following numbers and so on across. So this is where you control that. You can put lines all across, you can only put interior lines, you can do a lot of things here. I suggest that you play with that. The most practical one is this one, and I'll demonstrate that here in a minute. This is a merge type situation. This gets a little more complicated, so we're going to avoid that. Here's a horizontal align. In other words, you can make things align to the left, you can center, you can make it to the right. This is the vertical alignment. This is text wrapping, and you might wonder what text wrapping is. If I am here and I have a whole bunch of writing, as you can see, it kind of just keeps going and going and going. If I do text wrapping, it gives me choices: overflow, wrap, and you see what happened? It puts it all in one box. It just makes it longer all the way down. Now this is a good time to show you another thing on spreadsheets. You wonder, well, these boxes are too small for what I want to write there. So if you bring your mouse over between the two cells, you see the arrows appear. Hold your left mouse button and drag to your right. It makes that column bigger. Same thing, you can make it smaller. So that's another handy thing to know that can cause a lot of heartache. This is an interesting feature. You can actually rotate your text to point in different directions. So you can make something quite interesting looking there. This is to insert a link. In other words, a hyperlink. You can actually insert a link on your spreadsheet to a web page, for example. So this is where you would put it. If you click on that, you paste your link here, let's say from the internet, copy the link, right click on here, paste it, and then you have an actual hyperlink that you can click on and go exactly to that web page. This is to insert a comment. Again, you might not use this a lot, but it's for people that are creating very complicated spreadsheets to explain what they're doing. Now the next button to demonstrate it, I'm going to put a few numbers here. By the way, to move in between cells without having to click on them, see, like if I click here, oh, this is on strike through, we don't want that. Let's take that button off. Okay, here we go. Now to move between cells without having to click on the next cell, you can use the arrow keys on your keyboard. If I press the down arrow key here, it just takes me right to the next cell. Press it again, takes me right to the next cell. And I'm going to put some names here just for demonstration purposes. Again, I'm still on that color. Let's make it black. It's easier to see. It's picking up my formatting from before. So I'm just going to type them all, highlight them, and then change them. I'll show you how easy that is. Okay. I'm going to make them all black here. Okay, I'm going to take this right here, highlight it all, the names and the numbers, and that brings us to our next button here, which is Insert a Chart. I just clicked down there and it inserted a chart by the numbers, as you can see, and the names that are there. Kind of neat, isn't it? It's telling me they have a new chart editor available, and it's offering to show me, but I'm going to dismiss that for right now. So I have the chart there. The chart appears. I can take this chart, for example, and move it by grabbing the corners there. And okay, now we have a chart here. If I go to the chart and I click on it to highlight it, and I right click on it and I click on chart style here, if I go to the setup right here, click on it once, I can choose what type of chart I want. There's a lot of things here that you can do. You can play with that, but this is one of the basic ones. If you click on that, I can change this type of chart to, for example, a column chart. Or I can change it into a line chart, and here's some options of lines. Okay. Or I can change it into something really neat like this one. Okay, so there's a lot there that you can do with these charts if you want to. I'm going to click on that. If I want to remove it, I just hit the delete button. When it's highlighted, it goes away. Another thing that you can do on here is use it as a very sophisticated calculator. So if here I want to add all these numbers together, that's when you go to this symbol here, functions. Okay, if I click on that and I hit sum, and I click on this column and drag it all the way down, it's going to add all those. At this point, if you hit the enter button, which is the little magic button that makes everything work in a function, there it is. It added all those columns. Now if you go back here and let's say you change this number, if I double click on it, highlight it, and make it 1,000, watch what happens. Okay, I changed it to 1,000. I hit the enter key again. You can see it automatically changes my total here. So that's a handy little feature. You could have a long list. As things change, you can change them, and it's going to change your total for you. Another simple thing to remember is if you click on an empty box, spreadsheets recognize the equal as the start of a formula. So if I hit equal, I click on this box, see, C5, which is that one. I put the asterisk, which is this time symbol, and I want to get 10% of that number, so I put 0.10. This is where you have to remember some of your basic formulas from high school, but they're 0.10. Now at this point it's showing me the formula. I want to see the result. I hit the enter button. And there it is, 10% of 1,000 is 100. If I click on that again, it still shows me the result, but you see here, this fx shows me what the formula is there. Okay, let's say I want to do this for all these. I want to do the 10%. If I take this and just drag it down, it does it for all of them. So you see what I did there? Let's undo that. Let's undo our last action. I did the 10% here, but I want to do it for all these numbers in this column. You just drag it straight down, grab it, hold it, drag it down, let it go, and there it is. Okay, to review again, let's say I want to add these. I can just go to the functions here, hit the sum, click on this once, drag it down, hit the enter button, and there we go. Now, these are percentages. Let's say I wanted to make this percentages. I can format it here like I showed you before. It's a percentage. Let's undo that last action because it doesn't make sense, but there you go. Another thing that you can do that spreadsheets are handy for is to keep records. For example, you can put somebody's first name, last name, address, city, state, zip code, and you can create lists here, which are a very practical way of keeping a list rather than trying to do it on a regular word processor. Another thing I wanted to show you, let's say I forgot to put somebody in between these two right here. At this point, do I have to do everything all over again? No. If I go to the number here, I want to put somebody above Charlie. If I click on that, highlights the column all the way across, I can go to Insert, Row Above, and there, it put a space for me. I can click on there and add Jose. Put a number in here for Jose, 2000. It's missing the formula there, but I can just, there we go. So there are a lot of things you can do in spreadsheets. You can do the same thing here with columns. For example, if you need to insert something, if you click on this column here and you click on this little item there, you can insert a column to the left, insert a column to the right. You can delete an entire column. You can clear all the contents of a column. What I suggest with spreadsheets, become familiar with them. There's a lot of uses for them. They can be a fun thing to play with. Play with them. You can't hurt anything. This one is free. It's right inside your Google Docs. Okay, that's going to be all for today. Like always, if you enjoyed this video, please like our video below. Hit the little thumbs up sign. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. Helps our rankings. It helps more people to see videos like this. And you have a direct link to our website right below also, so that you can go there and scroll to the bottom of the page, follow the Senior Tech link, and you will see a full menu to all of our videos. Again, thank you for watching Senior Tech. See you next time.